You must be really, really, really embarrassed because you thought this was episode 50, but it's actually episode 51.
I was excited. I was about to have a party.
No, it's episode 51, so you could retroactively celebrate something that happened already. Loser.
Damn it. Hey, what's up to our sidekicks and henchfolk out there in the Geek Nation? You're currently tuning into Fresh Floppies, the 51st episode, I'm told. A show where Noel and I, JD, will discuss some of the books that came out today, Wednesday, New Comic Book Day. Spoiler free, so worry not. But we just want you, the listener, to be able to go into the comic shops well armed with the knowledge of what you may or may not want to pick up. No.
Yeah, no, that pretty much sums up everything that we try and talk about on a weekly basis here on the Floppies of Fresh.
Fresh Floppies. Doom #1 by Sanford Green and Jonathan Hickman. Days of Doom. It's a one-shot for some reason.
What do you mean for some reason? One-shots have a storied history in all of comic books.
Did you like this? Listen, hold on. We love Jonathan Hickman, I would say 75 to 80% of the time, right?
85 to 90.
Okay, a little bit more than me.
Yeah.
So we're going in. I went in primed for some Hickman. I was like, oh man, great. And it's Doom?
Sometimes your greatest enemy is your own expectations.
Most times,
yeah.
my greatest enemy
is your own expectations.
Yeah.
I had heard about this. So I think we're primed to think that, or just we're trained as readers to think that everything that Jonathan Hickman touches, like, oh, this is going to be the building of the next 40 years of comics, and
he's an architect.
This is just a dime in the well of the greatest story that he's going to build for the next 15 years. And that's partly his fault.
Yeah. He knew it.
But sometimes he just is a comic book guy. Yeah. And I think from what I had heard, I think like him and Sanford Green were like, let's do something. I want to draw Doom. All right, I'll do you a Doom story.
All right, that's cute.
It's a nothing. This is like a nothing burger. And when I was reading this, it felt a little like the first issue of Gods, where it is like self-contained, big, crazy, and a little ephemeral.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I closed the book going...
Violently? You closed the book violently?
Delicately, gingerly.
Threw it across the table and thought...
I actually held my cat over it until it took a shit on the book.
I mean, pee would be fine, but...
This was fine. This was fresh enough, which weird to say.
I thought it was pretty fresh. Mm-hmm. This felt like a cross between, like I said, the first issue of Gods, but then also it felt like 20 years ago when they would do those like the end one shots, and like it felt like old school Marvel, good or bad. Mm-hmm. And I was hanging by a nail for some of it. But Sanford Green kept me happy. Yeah. Like there's some huge, weird splash pages in this.
There's 2 in a row that are
so cool.
Aces.
Yeah, and then like this is one of those. This is also one of those books that's like when I describe it on paper, somebody's gonna be like, that sounds like the coolest goddamn thing in the world. Mm-hmm. Like the setup of it, the middle of it, where they kind of like like the classic montage of powering back up, and then like the climax. I'm like, this is all huge, crazy beats, and this book keeps escalating. Yeah. But the end was like the friends we made along the way kind of ending. So I was like, all right, I guess that's fine.
I was a little bored, to be honest. I'm kind of disappointed. This was
fair.
The book of the week for me. This was top of the stack.
Well, it's a little bit of a slow week.
That's true.
Yeah, we peek behind the sausage curtain. We were struggling for what to talk about this week for a little bit. But yeah, this should have been #1 with a bullet, and it was just kind of like,
well, okay.
With a whimper.
Yeah.
But the art is great. I really love Sanford Green's art.
I mostly love Sanford Green's art. There's a splash page here where Galactus is like flying, and it's a full page thing, and it's like his arms are real short.
There's a couple of parts at the very end, the climax, where the storytelling is a little awkwardly paced. Like there's a character that doesn't make it, and I didn't realize that until I turned back 3 pages and was like, oh, that happened. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, it's like this is definitely like two masters at their craft, jamming with no real direction.
Yeah. That's perfect.
Yeah.
They're just riffing.
Yeah, it's this is a Fish concert of a comic book.
No. Redcoat number 2 from Image Comics by Jeff Johns, Brian Hitch, Andrew Curry, Brad Anderson, and Rob Lee. So Redcoat is a book in the Ghost Machine universe, the Geigerverse.
No.
Wait, what?
The Unnamed.
The Unnamed. That's the name. I don't know what the name of this universe is.
Ghost Machine is just the imprint.
The imprint.
Unnamed are the characters in this timeline that
Thank you.
whatever.
You're right. Yes.
And that's it.
Okay.
But which doesn't include Rook. Rook is not one of the Unnamed.
Okay. And this is part 2, following the exploits of, what's his name?
Pure? Simon Pure.
Yeah, Simon Pure.
Simon Impure.
And someone calls him that earlier. Where in the last issue he comes across a young Albert Einstein and.
We don't learn that until this issue, right? Like he's just a little German boy, and then he says his name this issue.
Oh, I thought we knew.
issue. I think it was just a little German boy.
Oh, okay.
From what I remember.
Yeah.
Because what makes me, first of all, I don't remember, but what makes me feel like it's a reveal here. He introduces himself to Simon and his full name. Yeah. So I'm like, it's supposed to be a drop, right?
What'd you think of this one?
More of the same.
Yeah.
It was fine.
Yeah.
The first issue was irreverent and kind of poppy. This one is more like, and now exposition. Just a lot of it.
Yeah, man. I agree.
It was a dense book. I got 3 pages in. I was like, you know what? I'm going to read something else first.
We are introduced to his villain because there is. He does have somebody. Who has similar trappings.
Yes, but I don't even know if that's gonna. It didn't read to me as though they were setting up a villain so much as establishing like rules. Okay. Because when this person's introduced, Simon even makes a joke. He's like, "This guy thinks he's my nemesis, but I don't actually give a shit."
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know if the book is introducing a big bad. I don't think this is him. Okay. This is just an obstacle. They in the back of the book, the timeline in the back of the book to me kind of sets up who might be the real antagonist.
Oh, okay. 1944?
Is that what? No. Before it.
The monster is made?
No, before
the Northerner begins his hunt.
A Redcoat and a Northerner.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Come on now. Come on. Jeff Johns is creative, but he's not. He's usually pretty on the nose.
I enjoyed this. I think I may have enjoyed it more than Doom, just because I knew where I was headed with this.
This is more the same, man. Yeah, I got no qualms. This is fresh enough for me.
Yeah, same, fresh enough.
Yeah,
I mean,
it continues to still be good Hitch.
Oh yeah.
He is still drawing. This is not like repurposing faces and feet from another book. Like this is good. I like this a lot.
Amazing Spider-Man Blood Hunt #1 by. Who's this? Justina Ireland, Marcelo Ferreira, Roberto Paggi, and Rochelle Rosenberg.
Yeah.
So Blood Hunt #1 came out, a week or two ago? 2 weeks ago. And to our delight, we loved issue #1.
Big fan.
And have you read a bunch of...
I read a bunch of the tie-ins.
One-shots last week.
Yeah. And they were all solid. Mm-hmm. Doctor Strange was awesome.
Yeah, it was.
ASM was decent. Was fine. ASM was good.
Does ASM lead directly into this, where he's like,
yes.
Okay, and the lizard shows up?
Yeah.
Okay.
At the Amazing Spider-Man number 48, 49.
I think I say 49.
49 was basically just Peter trying to help people.
Yeah.
And then it ends with the lizards in the corner, and then it's like, to be continued in Amazing Spider-Man Blood Hunt #1.
Gotcha.
And that's where we're at.
How does this one stack up with the others?
It's fine.
Yeah, man.
This was so boring.
So by the numbers, just I don't care. Other than like, what's up with the lizard?
Apparently him. Oh wait,
has he been separated from Connors?
That's what it said in dialogue. I don't remember when that happened.
Same. Okay.
Did you finish Beyond?
Yeah. Did it happen in Beyond?
I don't know. I'm asking.
I don't.
I got halfway through.
Yeah.
ASM Beyond.
I don't remember.
So maybe it happened there.
Maybe.
Like sciencey shit.
Yeah.
Or maybe it happened in the Nick Spencer one that both of us left. I don't know.
I don't know.
But either way, he's more of a mindless thing.
Yeah, I was bored too.
Did you make sure you finished the whole book?
I didn't.
Because there's like
there's a backup.
It's hardly a backup. It's actually like same creative team part of the book.
That's so weird.
Yeah, like the
Why
book.
Would you have an
the
end to
book
the book
kind of ends, and then it's like meanwhile, Colleen and Dr. Mike.
Dr. Mike.
That was pretty funny.
Dr.
Yeah.
Mike.
There's a lot of like little charming bits in here. Like I think this writer is great.
Yeah.
But I don't care.
No, I mean
this is perfect, and by perfect I mean typical.
Yeah.
Tie-in bullshit.
Nonsense.
It's like, hey, this is what happened in a side of the universe you actually don't care about and doesn't affect the plot. Have fun. Yeah.
Yeah. This is the kind of tie-in that I don't bother with usually.
No, I'm out.
And
So
I'm not going to bother with this one.
So those following Blood Hunt, if you love Spidey, go for it. If you're really just following the Blood Hunt plot, don't worry about it.
Or if you like the Daughters of the Dragon, if you like Misty and
Colleen. Sure.
Yeah.
All the legion of Daughters of the Dragon fans, the Misty Knight fans and Colleen Wings fans that are clamoring for. I think they're a cool team too.
Yeah.
I do not see their fan base in spaces. They were. And this is actually like this book is actually kind of like a sequel to, in some ways, a sequel to the Amazing Spider-Man Beyond Era 2 because they were
the one shots.
Yeah.
Yeah. The 0.5 issues.
They were hired by the Beyond. Not even the 0.5 issues. They were part of the book. They were hired by the Beyond Corporation as like their security. So it ties back into all that stuff.
There is a drawing of Spider-Man here. Where he's a close-up and he's talking to Misty and the lizard. He's on a wall. It looks like someone took his mask and made it and just ripped it to the side. It doesn't look like it's on his face.
Which is the way that you stop anybody wearing a ski mask.
Yeah.
You just like move it so they can't see.
I kind of love when anyone does that in a comic book. I think the Joker even did it to Batman in The Killing Joke, where he grabs his eye holes and just goes yoink. I love that.
I'm gonna transition to. We're like speeding through these books.
Yeah, I wish when we're excited, we have more to say. I think.
I know, right? It's. I mean, that's fine.
I'm gonna. A banger.
I'm gonna. You did not get a chance to read this, but I'm gonna talk about a book that issue number 3 of Ultimate Spider-Man, Ultimate X-Men.
Yeah.
This is me secretly wishing it was Ultimate Spider-Man. Ultimate X-Men number 3, written and drawn by Peach Momoko. Mm-hmm. This book continues to confound me.
Yeah.
It is a dream with no thread and shifting in time. Like
this issue, or are you talking about the whole series?
Sure.
Okay.
Also this issue, because there's 2 time jumps in this issue. Oh. So Peach Momoko, I think her art is wonderful, but I'm struggling with her storytelling because there's a character introduction in this book. There are 1.5 origins in this book, and there's 3 flashbacks in this book.
Wow.
And if you're just flipping through it, they are all visually treated the exact same way, and everyone looks the exact same. So I'm having we get the origin of Maystorm, her friend, the new character, but before that we get a 2 years ago flashback to who I guess is going to be the villain, and then it shoots to 7 months before the 2 years later, and then goes to real time. It's
what this feels like, and I'm just guessing.
Like the plot of a dream. Sorry, go ahead.
I just mean it's like the other Ultimate books had a plan, and then this one was like, we really want Peach Momoko to do a book. Hey, Peach Momoko, what do you want to do?
Maybe.
I want to do Ultimate X-Men. Great,
Maybe.
Go for it. It does not feel like it is anchored to the other books in the slightest, or in the same universe even.
This is the first issue where they even mention mutants.
Oh yeah.
They show. I desperately want to spoil one scene.
Don't.
Because it's so confounding of like how mutation, I guess, maybe works in this world. And then the very end, we get introduced to a new character. A classic character reintroduced here, who, as far as I know, wasn't a mutant in normal 616, but whatever.
Okay. Well, that's cool.
I guess.
Potentially.
Sure. But then it's like oh, and you guys are mutants too, yeah? And it's very YA, and it comes out of nowhere, and I don't know what the hell is going on with this book.
Yeah.
I don't dislike it, but I'm losing patience with it, which almost upsets me more. Like, I am more upset by books that I'm indifferent to than I am by, like, this was trash.
Yeah.
I don't know how to approach this book anymore.
Okay.
And I'm gonna try and stick with the first arc, but it's a weird one.
It's slippery for you.
It's a weird one.
It's losing you.
I'd like you to read it right now. We'll wait. No. Right now we'll wait.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah, let's just do dead air. I'll hum.
The people will love it. House of Brainiac, Superman Action Comics number 1065. This is the third part of House of Brainiac. I guess fourth, because there was a point issue. And have you read the first issue? Yes.
I did. I read the first issue, which was Superman 12.
13. Sure.
12. 13 was the second.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. It was 12. Or action was. I don't give a shit. Yeah. Whatever, man.
So basically, this is a House of Brainiac storyline that's going through Superman Action Comics as well as Superman, and it's all by Joshua Williamson. And this one's by Rafa Sandoval, I believe. Yes.
Wait,
and Miguel Mendonca.
One second. Stupid question.
Hi.
Is it Action Comics Superman or Superman Action Comics?
It's Superman Action Comics.
Jesus Christ.
Although I believe it's just Action Comics, and they just put the word Superman on there so people know. This is really just Action Comics 1065. They put Superman at the top so that people know it is a Superman book.
Do they normally do? The logo-ish?
The Superman has gone on and off over the decades.
Interesting.
Yeah, this is a kind of a fun crossover though.
Yep.
Yeah, there's some interesting stuff happening with Brainiac in here. This last, Lobo is a huge Lobo storyline.
Lobo.
Right?
Laba.
And like he was supposed to be the last Zarnian. Turns out he's not the last Zarnian.
Well, yeah, that was revealed in the first issue.
Yeah.
There was like a shit ton of Zarnians.
And I love
raining Zarnians. Lousy with Zarnians.
Yeah.
Puddles of Zarnians.
It's raining Zarnians, like the old song goes.
Hallelujah.
And, I love
butts.
how they did that.
Oh, yeah.
I do love butts. The Brainiac steals a city from every world that he destroys. Turns out he stole a city from Zarnia, and it's filled with Lobos. I love that idea. What a fun way to bring those guys back.
Has it always been a motivation of Lobo to be the last Zarnian, or he just always was the last Zarnian?
When we meet him, he was the last Zarnian, I believe. And the idea was, I think, that he may have murdered all the other Zarnians.
Okay.
Because he's the main man. He's the Bastich. So I don't know if they ever disproved that.
You said those like they were titles.
Was that?
You said that like those were titles that matter.
Yeah, they are.
They're not.
And
I'm a captain, certified wow. Just because I am. I am. I'm the captain.
This is fun. I'm really enjoying the Superman crossover.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the first issue, despite some like super silly kind of stupid stuff. I really liked it, and I wanted to make time to read this, but I haven't had a chance to. So.
I think you should get back into it. I think it's a blast.
Oh, hey, relax.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
I'll read it if I have time. We went through those books really fast. We're recording a show tonight, and both of us actually did some pre-reading for that show. Would you like to talk about it really quick for our audio-only listeners?
Do you mean The Crow Special Edition by James O'Barr featuring a new introduction by the author?
Yes. So this week for CultPop Podcast live stream, we are actually reviewing both the book The Crow as well as the original 1994 movie, which has its 30th anniversary this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, this Friday is like the 30th anniversary of
I'm
this
not
movie.
sure if I missed it in the theaters. I think they were doing like a one screening thing this week sometime.
29th, later this month.
I really want to go to that, even though I just watched the movie.
Well, we have a show.
Damn it!
We can cancel the show that night, I guess, if you really wanted to.
Spoiler alert. Fucking loved it.
Hold on. Fuck the movie. Let's talk about... We're only talking about the books.
Okay,
we're doing comics this week. We're talking about the book.
Let's talk about the Crow graphic novel for those of you out there who...
had you read it before?
May be peripherally aware of it. I read it back in the 90s when the big Crow... the Crowazance happened.
I don't know if it'd be an aunts.
I know.
There was one good movie.
That's true. The Crowaning...
The Croning
happened, and so I went and grabbed the graphic novel. I'm pretty sure I read it after the movie because I was so enamored with it that I was like, I gotta go read that shit. And And I think that this book has some shining moments in it, but it is very much of a time, down to the music lyrics that are in there. You can find like Joy Division and The Cure, I think. In and really what sticks with me the most, and I think gives this book more of a pass, because there's some storytelling issues. It's very verbose. It's very dramatic. There's a lot of, wringing of hands and dancing around and pontificating and saying really ridiculous lines. But the fact that it all comes from James O'Barr, the trauma that the tragedy that he went to, the trauma that he had subsequently, and this was just him making something for himself in order to work through the mental anguish that he was experiencing. Really, I think gives it more of a pass than I would give other books. What did you think?
Mostly the same. This read like I was looking at the art therapy of someone.
Yes.
And it was interrupted by decent comics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Basically, yeah.
Because he's not untalented. Is that a word?
No, he's incredibly talented,
Yeah.
but this is like, I almost feel like the story shouldn't be read by people. It's his.
Yeah.
There's a B- comic book in the middle of some very, very earnest, well done, emotional beats.
Yeah.
And the way that this book is constructed, so I looked it up. It was originally in 1989. It was 4 issues from February to March for Caliber Comics, and then December 89 was a Christmas special, and then September 1990 was a coda, like a final issue called Death. That was like the little finale at the end with the horse.
Oh, okay.
Like a year later. And it was all done in like pieces out of order as he got better, as he felt. And this collection kind of puts it all in chronological order, which I do appreciate. It does kind of create this weird, dreamlike, whiplashy kind of experience, because you're going from like purely 80s comic Eastman style to watercolors.
Yeah.
With no transition, no real, so like it gives it that kind of like back and forward, all vibes in your feels kind of thing, where the plot is actually like secondary or tertiary, not actually that matters.
Yeah. That's the way I felt.
It's worth reading, but I wouldn't call it like a favorite.
No.
This is definitely like a peek inside of a dude.
Yeah, for sure. The fact that it brought us the movie is kind of what it did for me. Is like, oh, good. At least we got the movie out of this.
Which was less than 5 years later.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
I don't understand how that happened. Like, it wasn't even that popular of a comic book. It was just kind of like known in circles. And then it was a full-fledged motion picture in production 3 years after it released.
I will say, he does not write black people very well.
He writes them like someone from 1989 would write them.
Sure, yes. He actually drops an N-word in here.
Yes.
Which I forgot about. I did not know. I forgot it was happening.
Which is very weird because it's basically like one of the only curses in
Yeah.
the whole book. But I mean, that's a conversation for another day if you want to talk about something like Quentin Tarantino or like the idea of a white guy trying to accurately depict X, Y, and Z. And there's a lot of really dated, weird stuff in this book. And what was interesting to me is this is the first time I ever read it.
Oh, yeah.
Never bothered before.
Okay.
I was more concerned with the movie. But seeing the differences and similarities and some just like full-on pulled dialogue.
Yeah.
So the movie, the changes I think the movie made were great.
Yeah.
And the stuff that they kept, I think, is the most iconic stuff in the movie.
Man loses his feet.
Yeah.
I forgot about
My feet
that.
are cold.
Like, that is brutal.
Yeah.
That's a great scene. Yeah, there's a lot of really cool stuff in here, but it does feel very much like my high school years.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later. And so we're gonna sign off because we got to go record our main podcast live stream to talk about the movie and this book. We'll talk about it later tonight, but there are a lot of associations that I cannot divorce myself from in regards to the movie and the book.
Yeah.
It's very much of a time, and they're not divorceable. Yeah.
If you're interested in that, this will be posted the day after the live stream, so it'll still be up on YouTube if you just look on our YouTube channel. It'll be last night's podcast.
Yeah, we're gonna have a good time. So we'll see you then. Thank you for joining us, and we will. Oh, what's up? Well, you're gesticulating at me.
You gotta shout out the boys.
Oh, that's right.
Omni Boys. So
the Omnibuds Cafe.
That's right. The Facebook group Omnibuds Cafe have made us the YouTubers of the month.
Yeah, we're the content creators of the year, as far as I'm concerned.
As far as you're concerned.
Yeah. So sometimes people take a little while to catch up.
So thank you guys. We really appreciate that, and we'll talk at you later.
Do.
Thank you for listening to the CultPop Network, home to podcasts, live shows, and a whole lot of fun stuff for every flavor of fan. Follow us wherever you find your favorite podcasts, and be sure to join us live every Wednesday night at youtube.com/CultPopGo at 8 p.m. Eastern. While you're there, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you'll know when we drop new Thunder Rounds and episodes of Fresh Floppies, a spoiler-free show about single-issue comics released each week. Until then, we'll talk at you later.